George, how are you?
I'm doing well. Doing well. How are you?
Fine, thanks.
Good.
I always like to start in the beginning. Do you recall what the first record was that you ever bought?
Yeah, it was Green Day's Dookie. I think, yeah, and then Offspring's Americana. I'm pretty sure.
Do you know why this album in particular?
I don't know. I was like 8 years old. I don't know. I liked Green Day. I don't know. I don't have much of an explanation, I guess.
Was there a particular song that you really liked, or
What's that?
was there a particular song you really liked, or was it just the concept of them?
Yeah. What's the one? What's the
Basket Case.
Basket Case. There we go. Yeah, I probably like saw that video on MTV or something, and my mom gave me money to buy that. Yeah.
And were you at this point already interested in music and the thought of perhaps pursuing?
Definitely not pursuing, but I've always been into music, even when I was a kid. My mom played a lot of music in the house, and so
What kind of music
I
would
was
you
always
play?
exposed. Lots of different stuff. Radiohead or Michael Jackson or Nine Inch Nails or Duran Duran. She has pretty good taste, I think.
So already a bit of a rock side to it with Nine Inch Nails and those.
Yeah, definitely.
And then, at what point did you think, well, maybe I should pursue music? Was there a moment or something that happened when you thought, well, I want to be a musician?
I don't think particularly. I think like I think like in middle school, I just wanted to be in a band. I wanted to be like in a metal band, and I don't know. I was always found it to be fun. I never really thought that it would reach this level, you know, at some point.
Were you singing before that, or was it just with those bands that you started?
Yeah. I mean, like just garage bands with friends, you know. Yeah, I think I started growling or something at a pretty young age, and then playing guitar also, but not very well.
But I just saw you on stage, and the way you sing, I assume it's very taxing on your voice.
Damn it, Slayer just started.
We'll make it quick.
No, it's fine.
Well, so those first bands, were they any good that you played in?
Absolutely not. No.
So,
I mean, I was like 13.
And at what age, because I think you started Deafheaven along with Carrie, and then you recorded a demo album.
Yeah.
And it was very grassroots, so you could say it was just you two, and is it correct in that initially you didn't even want to release it?
Yeah. We did the demo. We wrote the demo. We were sharing a room at the time, and we just programmed drums for it, and then eventually had a friend come in and do the live version. But we just sat down and wrote the whole thing. No real intention. Just kind of wanted to do a new project.
Why didn't you want to release it then?
I'm sorry?
Why didn't you want to release it?
Well, we released it. We just released it for free, digitally. And because I don't know, I didn't really have any sort of hopes for it.
So still at that point there wasn't the idea of becoming a professional musician?
No, I mean, like it would be awesome, you know. I think even at that time, you know, I thought that idea was really cool, but I certainly wasn't relying on it, you know, at any point, because it's such a shot in the dark, you know.
Did you have a backup plan?
No, not really. I went to school for a little while, and no backup plan.
Okay, so it turned out well.
Yeah, it worked out. I guess we put all my focus into it, so it kind of grew from there.
Well, was there then a point where you thought, I could live off of it? Was there a turning point where you thought, well, the band actually has? Was it when you signed, or?
Not only signed, because we struggled for a couple years after we signed. But I think maybe after Sunbather came out and we did our first U.S. tour, and we did everything like really correctly, and the profits from that made me kind of think like, oh, maybe it's feasible, living off this. And since then we have been. It's cool.
Because there have been some lineup changes. Initially it was just you and Carrie, and then you had to find a band, and there has been some movement around.
Yeah. I mean, we had what I would consider our first solid lineup for our record Rose to Judah, and then in between the two records, we did a lot of touring, and not everyone could do it. And so the live lineup was pretty revolving, and it revolved to the point of just getting like entirely new members. But I love this lineup. It's extremely solid, and I think that it'll be the one that sticks.
Was it difficult then early on, and especially with the album, the first album, to find a healthy dynamic in terms of what you did in the studio as well and on stage?
I think that we've always sort of wanted to make sure that we can recreate stuff live to the best of our ability. So I don't necessarily think that was a struggle. I think that just playing live in general and kind of just getting used to the stage more and kind of figuring out yourself and how you want to perform and things like that. That took a while for sure.
One element of your performance, it is the music is quite emotional, quite personal. Mm-hmm. So was it something you had to get used to, that basically telling those personal things about yourself?
I mean, the way that the vocals are delivered, I think that kind of creates a barrier. So no, I don't feel like overexposed or anything like that. No.
But was it difficult to write them down?
Yeah, I mean, I do try and write about personal experiences and things like that. I don't know if it's difficult to write it down, but yeah, there's times where I kind of question if like the music should be that vulnerable, but it's worked out, I think.
But does it have to be for you when you start? I assume every song is different, but when you start writing a song, does it naturally gravitate towards your
well, I usually I'll write things in like fragments, and then for a song kind of piece them all together and create like an overall idea for that song. So it's not that like it over time gets more personal. It's just sort of these little personal tidbits that are kind of thrown together to create like an idea.